Manchester United's transfer plans have taken a major twist after losing the race to sign Mateus Fernandes, who is now set to join Tottenham in an £85 million move. However, the Red Devils aren't standing still, with Colombian wonderkid Cristian Orozco arriving for his medical, Crysencio Summerville emerging as a priority target, and fresh updates from Fabrizio Romano on Aurélien Tchouaméni. In today's video, we'll break down everything you need to know about United's latest transfer developments and what could happen next at Old Trafford. Their own Mateus Fernandes, midfielder, jetting in to sign for Man United this week. Another one bites the dust for Manchester United, with the Red Devils seemingly missing out on another leading target amid the latest on Mateus Fernandes' future. Having already seen Elliot Anderson close in on a move to the Etihad, Ineos had pivoted toward young Fernandes instead, hopeful of securing something of a knockdown deal following West Ham United's recent relegation. It's never that straightforward with a certain Jorge Mendes involved, however, with United again deciding to step away from the bidding amid the presence of a free-spending Tottenham Hotspur. By all accounts, the 21-year-old will move to North London for an eye-watering £85 million fee, with those at Old Trafford perhaps having learned their lesson after being stung by investing heavily in the likes of Rasmus Højlund and Antony in recent years. Sticking to their guns is a creditable move, but at some stage Ineos will need to get the checkbook out, or look to sign the next big thing instead. Man United target already flying in for medical ahead of imminent move. This might seem like a case of sour grapes, but £85 million for a player who has just suffered a second successive relegation does appear a little steep, with United wise not to get embroiled in a transfer tug-of-war involving the Portuguese. The £116 million Anderson has seemingly inflated the midfield market, with Bournemouth likely to demand at least £80 million for Alex Scott, while the asking price for long-term United target, Adam Wharton, is also set to be in a similar ballpark. Like with the case of Sen Lamens last summer, the Red Devils might just have to take a risk on a bargain, relative unknown instead, rather than splashing the cash on Premier League proven talents. Who has been Man UTD's player of the season? Well, there's an update in that regard, with The Athletic reporting that an agreement is imminent for the signing of Colombian teenager Cristian Orozco. The suggestion is that the 17-year-old has flown to Manchester to undergo a medical, ahead of officially signing from Fortaleza when he turns 18 this month. It is believed that the young South American will command a fee of around £850,000, with United investing in potential rather than necessarily an immediate solution. Why Orozco could be Man UTD's answer to Fernandes. For all the excitement surrounding marquee, high-profile deals, there's always a delight in seeing someone rise from obscurity to emerge as a cult hero at Old Trafford, be it Lamens, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, or Chicharito. Maybe Orozco, still a mere teenager, could be the next off the conveyor belt in that regard, a surprise player who can force his way into Michael Carrick's plans next season. With Case Moreau departing and Manuel Ugarte set to be sidelined for an extended period, there's a gap to be filled in midfield, with all the signs pointing to the Colombian youth international being a real star of the future. Indeed, the belief is that he could be the next Moisés Caicedo, the Ecuadorian having at one stage appeared close to joining United prior to his Brighton days, only for the club to back away amid complications surrounding his representation. Signed by the Seagulls for a fee of around £4.5 million, Caicedo is now among the cream of the crop in the Premier League, having joined Chelsea on a bumper £115 million deal in 2023. Hopefully, Orozco can enjoy a similar rise and prove to be Carrick's answer to Fernandes too, emerging as another exciting young midfielder who can dominate in the center of the park. While perhaps a more defensive-minded option than the Portuguese, the two men are alike in what they offer out of possession, so adept at winning the ball back for their sides. In Fernandes' case, he ended 2025-26 having averaged 3.9 tackles and interceptions per game, as well as making 5.1 ball recoveries for the Hammers. That record compares well to Orozco's record at last year's U17 World Cup, the teen sensation having averaged 3 tackles and interceptions per game, while recording 6.5 ball recoveries. He's a real midfield pillar, having won 67% of his aerial duels too. Yet there is the silk to match the steel, as seen in his average of 0.8 successful dribbles recorded per game in the tournament. For comparison, Fernandes also had the same average in the Premier League last time out. At club level, Orozco has actually made only 5 senior appearances thus far, suggesting that patience will be needed with him next season and beyond. That said, it isn't as if Fernandes was brimming with experience himself prior to joining Southampton in 2024, having at that stage made only 10 appearances for Sporting CP, alongside just a solitary season out on loan at Estoril. 2 years on from first arriving in England, he is now an £85 million player, highlighting just how quickly youngsters can rise. Hopefully, young Orozco can enjoy a similar ascent, particularly if those Caicedo comparisons are anything to go by. Man United make elite player, leading transfer target after Mateus Fernandes blow. Manchester United have made West Ham United winger Crysencio Summerville a leading transfer target, following their failed bid to sign his teammate Mateus Fernandes, with Sky Sports issuing an update on the situation. Man United may have got an early summer deal for Atlanta midfielder Ederson over the line, with a move expected to be completed this month when the Brazilian returns from the World Cup, but their incoming business has slowed down since. Red Devils Chiefs had been working on a deal to bring Fernandes to Old Trafford after Manchester City won the race to sign their number 1 midfield target Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest, and there appeared to be confidence that a deal would eventually get done despite the Hammers' £85 million valuation of the Portugal international. However, Tottenham joined the race to sign the 21-year-old, and it was confirmed on Tuesday that they had agreed an £85 million fee with their London neighbours for the midfielder that will see him move across the capital. United were unwilling to match the fee Spurs offered, even though the player had shown a willingness to move to Old Trafford. Now, they must start working on their Plan B option, while they are still keen to strengthen other areas of the pitch, such as on the wing. Sky Sports, Summerville is top left-wing target for United. According to Sky Sports, Summerville is emerging as a leading left-winger target for United as they continue their plans to strengthen their squad ahead of their return to the Champions League next season. While the report says that the Red Devils' focus remains on bolstering their midfield following the exit of Case Moreau and injury suffered by Manuel Ugarte for Uruguay at the World Cup, Summerville is also firmly on their radar. The future of the Dutchman is set to come under the spotlight following the Netherlands' exit from the World Cup against Morocco, which saw Ronald Koeman resign as manager on Tuesday. As things stand, the 24-year-old, who impressed with 2 goals and 2 assists for his country in North America, will be playing in the Championship next season with West Ham, but that is unlikely to remain the case. Sky Sports claim that United are just one of a number of players interested in the elite £50M rated forward. Rashford could green-light Summerville move. The report adds that any potential move for Summerville will likely depend on what happens to Marcus Rashford. Following a successful loan spell with Barcelona last season, it would have been expected that they would exercise their £26 million buy option and bring the England international to the Camp Nou on a permanent basis. However, the La Liga champions didn't do that and signed Rashford's Three Lions teammate Anthony Gordon for £70 million instead, leaving him in limbo at Old Trafford. Barca are said to be keen on another temporary move for the 28-year-old, but United are only willing to agree a permanent deal as they look to offload his big wages once and for all. Fabrizio Romano drops bombshell on Man United signing Aurélien Tchouaméni from Real Madrid. Fabrizio Romano has delivered an emphatic update on Manchester United potentially signing Aurélien Tchouaméni from Real Madrid, following their failure to land Mateus Fernandes. News broke on Tuesday night of Tottenham having an £85 million bid accepted for Fernandes. Both they and Man United had battled for the Portuguese's signature, though the player never indicated a clear preference on who he wanted to join. That stance allowed West Ham to hold out for the best deal possible, and in the end, Spurs agreed to pay £85 million in guaranteed payments, whereas Man Utd's offer included add-ons. All being well, Fernandes will now become Tottenham's record signing, with the Red Devils once again forced to look elsewhere for their second signing in central midfield after Ederson. If getting their way, Man United would bring Real Madrid and France starter Aurélien Tchouaméni to Old Trafford. It's no secret United adore the 26-year-old, who is viewed internally as the perfect successor to Casemiro, as the more defensive-minded option of the bunch. But when taking to YouTube, transfer guru Fabrizio Romano explained the two reasons why Tchouaméni to Man United is a non-starter right now. Aurélien Tchouaméni to Man United requires huge sacrifice. Tchouaméni is a dream signing for Man United. They love the player, began Romano. But at the moment, the financials of the deal are considered still too high. Because also the salary. It's not just about Real Madrid. It's also about the salary. His wages are considered too high. So the only way to open doors for Tchouaméni to Man United after missing out on Mateus Fernandes is to discuss a completely different salary. At the moment, that's not something that's happening. Man United exploring midfield alternatives. As we saw with Fernandes and previously with Man United pulling out of the race to sign Elliot Anderson, Ineos are not prepared to break the bank this summer. They'll only advance in deals if they believe the financials make sense, and given Tchouaméni's salary is sky high, it appears highly unlikely there'll be a compromise on the Frenchman's wages. That again puts Man United back into the market for alternatives, with Carlos Baleba, Sandro Tonali, and Alex Scott, three others on their radar. The issue of cost will likely deter Man United from moving for Tonali. Tottenham already have an agreement on personal terms in place anyway, and are prepared to bid more than £100 million for the Newcastle talisman. Bournemouth don't want to sell Scott, and instead aim to tie the midfielder down to a new contract that would contain a release clause. Arsenal recently saw an approach emphatically rebuffed by the Cherries. Felix Nmecha, Borussia Dortmund, and Sander Berge, Fulham, are also under consideration. Although Manchester United have missed out on Mateus Fernandes, the club continues to reshape its squad with a mix of promising young talent and experienced targets. Cristian Orozco could prove to be a bargain signing for the future, while Summerville and other midfield options remain firmly on Ineos' shortlist. The transfer window is far from over, and plenty of twists are still expected. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Manchester United transfer news. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.